All right, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. I will not get that wrong. It is Tuesday night, May 27th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Glad you're in, everybody.
Yep.
And we are back. Those of you, all the emails I got about where we were last night, I think I did say we would be off on Memorial Day.
I remember hearing that.
I think I did, but I got many, many inquiries about where we were, why we weren't streaming, where we were, but we're back.
Holiday.
Here we are.
Come on, it's a holiday. We boys need a night off here and there.
We had a parade to get to. I mean, come on.
I did. I had a parade to run.
I hope everybody had a nice weekend.
Yeah.
Slickster's here. He's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do some news. Vinnie Mac is back from his week away.
Yeah.
He'll be having some thoughts and some news. Maybe he can tell us what he was doing while he was away. I'll just give you a hint. Nothing. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. So we'll get to all of that. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
I like that suit. You're looking sharp as always.
Thank you, sir.
How was your day? How was your weekend?
Fantastic. Like I said, it's all about the Memorial Day parade for me. We run a big parade every year in Holbrook for many, many, many decades now that I've been running it, and it's just fantastic. We got a lot of young kids there, and
Great to see the young kids there.
fantastic. And I told everybody, no more happy Memorial Day. It's have a beautiful Memorial Day. Because to me, what's happy about Memorial Day?
I've heard a lot of discussions about this, and of course, I think part of it was because of the president's truth that he put out about it. But it was really not about that. I've heard a lot of discussion. I was listening to a lot of radio, being in the car over the last couple of days, and Sirius XM today. I was listening to Andrew Wilkow. He had a caller talking about this, a veteran, about this exact subject, about adding the word happy onto it.
It's funny, and I had nothing to do with that. It was in my speech yesterday, telling the young kids, let's get rid of happy. It's nice to see your family. That's a happy day, but it's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful Memorial Day.
They see it just as a day off, and there's nothing really behind it, you know. And that's the important thing is what you just said, and what Damien was saying. What's behind this? And your speech, by the way, that you gave Friday, I guess, right?
Yes.
Was absolutely. I shared it around. Absolutely amazing. The reviews are great, but it was just so heartfelt and spot on. Oh man, you nailed it. Did you write that?
Yes,
he did.
Wow.
And I got a lot of emails about it too. And the nice ones were I got a lot from people who served.
Nice ones.
For once, nice emails for once.
You got some other ones. You got some nasty ones.
Well, I always get the other ones,
Oh, yeah,
but
you
that's
always
fine.
get
I like
trolls.
those too, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But I did get a lot who said, you know, man, tell me their story.
Yeah.
A lot of them, whether it was them themselves who served, or maybe they lost a brother or an uncle, or we got a ton of them, and I read all of them. So those were really nice, and I appreciate people taking the time to write them and send them.
It is like a bit insulting if you served and had buddies, you know, lose their lives, and they have Memorial Day for a reason, to memorialize those who gave their lives and served, and people are just worried about barbecuing and, you know, playing bocce or, you know, volleyball in the backyard or whatever, which I understand. It's a 3-day weekend, but give a moment to that. And I could see why guys who served, you know, would send you that note, because it should have touched all of them. It was fantastic.
Well, I think even, and I don't want to put words in any of their mouths, obviously, but I think people even who serve, I think the gathering part of it, I don't think people have a problem with. I don't even think they have a problem with necessarily the barbecue. I just think it's kind of like Christmas, right? It's no different than, let's remember what the Christmas is just turned into, like, you know, trees and gifts and whatever. Let's remember what we're here for.
For me, get your butt out to a parade. Go out and spend an hour paying respect.
Well, that's good.
You know, or go visit a grave of a loved one or what have you. And let's not forget those that are dying now from Agent Orange and cancers from different wars in Iraq. Those too are veterans that have given their lives for this country. I mentioned that too yesterday, and I don't think that resonated, because a lot of people don't think about those people. We just think about who was a KIA. Okay, some people are being killed. Also killed after.
Just after,
so.
right.
Yeah, so I agree with all of that. And I think the sentiment for 99% of the people is correct. But like you said, Slick, sometimes, you know, you have to remind, it's good to see the young kids, you know, they understand what it's for. Now, of course, was part of my dissertation, whatever you want to call it, on Friday, is go out there and talk to your kids about what it means. Go out there and visit with your local veterans groups. Go to the like you say, go to the parade and do these things and remember what the meaning is behind all of this. So I agree with you. And again, I just want to thank everybody who wrote in, whether it was on Twitter, the emails, they were all just beautiful. And I think I got to all of them. and they were all very, very nice.
With a president like Trump, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think part of the problem is a lot of people associate, Memorial Day with the start of the summer. So it kind of gets mixed in where you have the gatherings, people are like, oh, school's almost over. You have a lot of things kind of culminating around this final, weekend or week of May, going on vacation and all that stuff. And I think that's where it gets lost.
It does. That's the problem with having. I'm against having sports on Mother's Day. These leagues, they have take the day off. Let these guys take their mother out. They don't need to go play sports on Mother's Day or Father's Day. Take a break, these kids.
Well, we have basketball games on Christmas Day.
To me, that's sacrilegious.
Now, are you talking about professional or kids?
Well, listen, professionals are another animal, and I'd like to see them stop.
But anything, yes.
Yeah. Let's go. You know what? There's a lot to be said about the blue laws. You know what? We had a much better country when the blue laws were around. Now, I was very young when the blue laws were still in effect, and they were
like 50, right?
sliding by the weeks.
Right.
Yeah. But even in the 60s, they had
Prohibition days.
They still had. Yeah. But I'd like to see that, that peel off. But to some degree, I'd love to see some of the blue laws come back with things like that, too. For the holidays. They should be sacred, the days. They really should. Playing ball, to me, that's sacrilegious.
Let those things settle in. I was going to add that with a president like Trump and a guy like Pete Hegseth, Memorial Day actually has a meaning, from the top. It has a meaning for citizens and all that type of stuff that we're talking about. But when the president of the United States makes it a point to talk about these things as passionately and heartfelt as he has, and so did Pete Hegseth. But I haven't seen a president speech on Memorial Day have that level of impact or that level of passion behind our military and fallen soldiers. That drips down, It was a great thing that he did, but it makes us all aware, where we've had presidents for decades where there was barely any awareness.
We got a president that loves his country. How original.
Yeah.
He loves his country.
Exactly.
Look at the way he hugged that flag a couple of years ago. I'll never forget that.
Pete Hegseth's words, by the way, on Memorial Day were brilliant. About 7 minutes, the speech was. I listened to every word of it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He was absolutely fantastic the other day. So, all right. So, Delgado, how are you, by the way? How was your weekend?
Good.
Good.
Busy. Doing a lot of running around. And then surprised by someone that I saw today.
Who was that?
Someone I wasn't expecting to. I haven't seen this person in about 10 years.
Oh, so we don't know
I was at the gym. No, you don't know him.
Oh, okay.
Turns out
He doesn't even know him. He was just surprised to see him.
I was surprised.
Hang on, Danny Bottaducci?
Well, the thing was,
No.
here I am.
Short hair, black hair?
Here
Carrot
I
Top?
am. Here I am doing my workout. I'm at the gym, doing gym stuff.
Yeah.
And
Arms.
all of a sudden,
Doing arms. Do you do anything but arms?
No, he's like the
come on,
Fonz. He just does his arms.
Be honest. No, come on.
I do.
Stop.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do
we're
a
all
lot of
looking at you. Do you do anything but arms?
no, I do.
No, okay.
Everything.
I didn't think so.
He's
I do.
henpecked.
Today I did shoulders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Arms
Shoulders are attached to the
Arms
arm.
and shoulders are attached.
He did his deltoids. He got them sprayed and he got new tires.
No, anyhow. So this guy makes a beeline for me.
About Carrot Top.
Beeline, yeah.
Beeline for me. And all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, great to see you. I love the show." I'm like, "Oh."
Uh-oh. Was he a dumbbell?
And then I'm like, looking at him, I'm like, wait, this is, what did he say? I didn't hear
Nothing. Keep going. Your story's great.
Turned out it was my brother-in-law. who I've not seen in 10 years. My sister and him got divorced.
Oh, wait a minute.
Some years ago.
The sister that I know very
well. You know
well.
my sister, yes. The crazy one.
Yes. Name shall be held nameless. No.
But yeah, he's he's still. I thought he had moved to Florida. Turns out he's still on the island. And he watches the show. He says he has a lot of friends that watch the show. It's like, he goes, "You guys have a pretty good following up here." I said, "I had no idea."
Well, we don't either.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
Wow.
Good. Good to
So
know.
I thought that was a nice little surprise.
Was he doing arms or legs? Which one was he doing?
Was he doing the rowing machine?
No, he just had double knee surgery.
Oh, okay.
But he was getting back in shape.
Doing legs.
And, yeah.
Doing on the bike. Okay.
He's a good guy, though.
He's
I
a
know.
good guy.
I that I know.
Okay. Very good.
But yeah, so hello to my former brother-in-law, Rich.
Okay, Rich.
There you
Good.
go,
Good. Rich. I hope
you.
you're watching tonight.
Yep.
Probably the last time he's going to watch after this segment. But
check, please.
Vinnie Mac is back. Vinnie Mac, you were away for the whole week.
Oh, yeah. Very busy.
Supposedly on business in Florida. What were you really doing?
Yeah, I was, riding my bike, sitting in the sun, all those basic things that I normally do.
How was your week?
The week, I had a weird week because I was talking to you about this off the air. I got a message from my bank, which I'm not afraid to say who it is. Chase Bank. I opened an account.
Chase business away.
Good luck.
I opened an account.
Yeah.
My first job out of college in 1984. That's when I opened that account.
Wow.
And I use it for personal stuff. I don't do much with it. I don't get wires in or wires out. It's a very basic account. They canceled it. And I'm thinking, I talked to the guy. I'm like, why would you cancel this account? What did I do? He goes, we can't tell you what that is.
I can tell you.
And Damon says, I can tell you. And what is it?
Yeah, they probably saw they probably watched the show.
Exactly.
Or they went to your social media and saw your social media feed, saw some clips, saw something, saw you somewhere associated with this show.
His social
Because it
score.
happened to me.
It happened
There's
to you
no
too?
other explanation. Of course.
Oh, my God. I thought I was
Chase.
so insulted by this. I don't even know what to say because I told the guy, my body of work, my life since I am 21 years old, I have been with you. And now you're telling me I can no longer be a customer of yours because of something you don't want to tell me. And now if I'm a conservative and I support MAGA, I can't bank at your bank. And I know this has happened.
That's correct.
I know this has happened.
Yep.
And what's that bank that Trump
Old Glory.
Jr.? Old Glory.
Time to switch to Old Glory.
Yeah, well, let me
I've been
tell you
thinking
something.
about it myself.
Chase is, I could walk to Chase from my house where it is. Literally, I could walk to Chase. My son was just about to open his first bank account. You know where he opened his first bank account?
Where?
Old Glory. He didn't
good
open
move.
it at Chase.
Good for him.
He opened it at Old Glory.
was
And
just
by the
thinking about
way,
it.
there's nowadays, the way people bank, there's no difference.
Right.
There's no difference. Doesn't need to go to a branch. Old Glory is great.
This is discrimination at its highest level.
Yep.
And I know even Melania Trump talked about that because she opened accounts for Barron and others, and they closed the accounts after he left office.
Their money's no good, huh?
Yeah,
Billionaires.
It's outrageous. It is discrimination.
That's disgusting.
I was thinking, should I hire a lawyer here? Because if they're not going to tell me why, like, you think they're ever going to admit that, we saw your social media, we watched you on 6B. We like you on 6B, by the way, but you're out of here. Who knows what they would say? But it is discrimination to me.
Wow.
Get a lawyer. Screw him.
Yeah. Jamie
good luck,
Dimon?
Good luck with that.
I mean, really, Jamie.
There's probably something in your clause somewhere that you signed
Of course
40
there
years
is.
ago,
They can
50
do it.
years ago.
They can absolutely do it.
They don't have to tell you and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
But
Just
we
like
know the
when
truth.
When they turn you down for anything, they don't need to tell you. They'll just send, you'll get a one-page report sometime future in the mail when they turn you down for anything.
That's
Yeah.
disgusting. Really is.
But that's absolutely what it is, Vin, 100%.
I'm glad you told me this too, because I honestly was stressed out about it. I'm like, what did I do?
No.
Did I do something?
That's it. That's what you
Yeah.
did.
Untoward?
You know how I know? Because Studio 6B Media Group was there, and they're not there anymore.
Ouch, that hurts. All right, well, F them.
Well, you were constantly overdrawn, but that's
Talk about a fraud alert.
Yeah, the bounce checks might have had something to do with it, but don't worry. All right, 13 past the hour.
Taliban warrior.
Fraud alert.
Studio 6B, we're back right after this.
I couldn't make it. It was at Windows in Ronkonkoma. They had a
At Old Glory?
Yeah. Well, no, they had a luncheon that they sponsored, I guess,
Oh,
with
yeah,
the radio.
Donna
I missed that.
did it.
Yeah.
They have a branch here?
No, they don't have branches. They have one branch in the middle of the country somewhere.
Oh, it's just a
All
digital
online.
bank?
I think it's
Yeah.
in Tennessee, right?
But you don't need
You don't
it.
need forget the lollipop.
I haven't
It's
seen a
not
bank
worth it.
teller in 25,
How
30
do you
years.
go to the bank for? You don't need to go there.
I don't go to
Get a
those.
lollipop.
My son's never.
Yeah, unless I need a pen. But that's not too often. I don't write much.
Chase Bank. Look at their arena in the middle of San Francisco.
Margie Bernard says F Chase. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
exactly.
that.
Screw Chase. They suck.
Nah, they're so big they could kill us. It's a shame.
That's just sad. I mean, To be judged like that after all this time, I mean, it's sad.
That's a sin. 1984?
1984.
Yeah, to be judged like that when you can come here every night and get judged.
Yeah, I could come here and get judged. Why not?
Right.
It's bad enough.
It doesn't cost you anything.
The price of fame.
You get judged by your friends, by peers that are liberals, and you're getting judged by your bank. I mean, geez, this is just out of control.
Chat live in the chats. I gotta refresh everything. Damn it. It's been a few days. I forgot how to do this. I
Okay.
was all thrown off all day. All freaking day. I thought it was a Monday.
You doing arms today? Yeah, Wendy Lott says credit unions are better, and they are. You know what? There's
That's
a couple
true.
of good ones here. I didn't even think about that, but I have to open a new account. I've got like a week to do it, too.
We do have good credit unions here. You're right.
Yeah, we do.
People's is good. Teachers, there's some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But Old Glory, that's the way to go, I think. They're real patriots.
I think
That's where
Old
you should
Glory is the
put
way to
your
go
money.
because I'm not going to get canceled for
Right.
being outspoken about, MAGA issues. I mean,
That's disgusting.
what a crazy
you've
world.
already been unfriended.
You have no idea what my day was like today. Okay, speaking of unfriended. Yeah, I got stories. Lots of stories, unfortunately.
Matzah stories? What?
I said matzah stories, yeah.
I just had an order of mozzarella sticks before. Good.
There we go.
Howdy, YouTubers. Howdy, Twitter.
What's up, Gerald? Better with Buda. That's what I'm talking about, baby. He knows what he's talking about.
It's a funny story, Rick.
Isn't that wild?
The father-in-law
I've seen it
or the
forever.
brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
I was like,
Wow.
holy crap. And he was like, you know what?
I promise you his wife don't watch the show. That we know.
Up 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday, May 27th. Glad you're in after the long weekend. Hope you had a great weekend, spent it with family. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's here. He's doing the news. Vinnie Mac is back. He's going to do some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. I mean, I don't know. I always think there's lots to get to, but I don't know that there's lots to get to tonight in the news. I kind of really turned everything off for the weekend, and then I got back today and I started looking around, and I don't know, it just didn't seem like there was anything. I don't know.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The biggest story in the world happened over the weekend.
Okay.
You missed it.
All right. Yeah, like I said, the biggest story in the world happened. We'll be covering that in the news coming up.
That's right. That's how I'm pitching it.
Let's start with Slick. Let's start with sports. I know there's a lot going on in sports. I watched the Knicks with a bunch of buddies on Saturday night. Was it Saturday or Sunday night?
Sunday night.
Sunday night. Having some Patriots cigars, by the way, that our friend That Guy sent.
Nice.
I brought them over for the guys to try.
How were they?
They loved them.
Oh, wow.
I said, man, these are good, and they are good.
Man,
They look good.
And so we watched the Knicks on Sunday night, and now Game 4 is tonight in Indiana. So Slick's got sports. I'm sure he'll cover that. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use at checkout at MyPillow. It'll give you a great savings on all the great stuff at MyPillow. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, that's exactly right. The Indianapolis Pacers are taking on the New York Knicks in a huge Game 4 pivotal game right now. Knicks won on Sunday night, and they cut the series 2-1. Obviously, this is the linchpin. It's a three-game-to-1 series win. If Indiana can pull it out tonight, they're up 16-11 with 7:45 to go. Knicks are underdogs by 2.5 points, so we shall see. But there they are in Indianapolis, and we'll see what happens. But a good game tonight, and playoffs are heating up as well. NHL action, we have the Oilers and the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars coming up. That's 8:30 puck drop. I'll have an update on that in the next sports segment.
It's how the Knicks won that night, though. That was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
What a great comeback.
Great
Like an
story.
opposite of Game 1, right? They were up 20 in Game 1 and lost. They were down 20 in Game 3 and won.
Yeah, I mean, and look at what's going on with the Oklahoma City Thunder too. They got absolutely crushed, right? On what was it, Saturday night? They got absolutely crushed,
Yeah,
and then they
last
came
night
back
they
last
came
night,
back.
and they won. It was a great game. Every time Minnesota would cut it to like they would just walk away with another 7-point, 8-point run. So
it's a good team,
unbelievable, you know. But they got a great team. Look, they got the MVP playing for them. So how could you beat that? But we will keep up to date. 18-15. I think this game's going to go right down to the wire. I think the Knicks win this one tonight. I actually think they're going to level the series at 2. This is going 7. This series. And Olympic champion Mary Lou Retton, say it isn't so, arrested for DUI. You believe that, Big D? Simon
Really?
Kent of Breitbart.
Mary Lou Retton,
she
she
was
owes me
very
money.
sick too. I know. US
Remember about a year and a half ago, she was sick.
They
And
had GoFundMe and everything,
Yeah, she had
yeah.
a GoFundMe. She was
yeah.
on death's door, according to her daughter.
Correct.
Didn't have health insurance because of the what do you call it? The divorce that she went through, and it got messy and all this stuff. And she was having problems. Now she's got problems drinking.
Terrible story, yeah. So, gymnast legend Mary Lou Retton was arrested earlier this month in West Virginia for driving under the influence. I guess this flew under the radar for a little bit. The Daily Mail reports the 57-year-old West Virginia native was apprehended on May 17th in Marion County for driving under the influence of alcohol, controlled substances, or drugs, per the West Virginia magistrate court system. The mother of 4 was released after personally posting a $1,500 bond. An attorney for Retton was not listed in court's records, and her representatives have yet to address the arrest, the outlet continued. Retton became a household name in the 1980s for her top-level achievements in gymnastics. The athlete won 5 medals in the discipline at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Her gold in the individual all-around competition was the first in history for an American woman in that event. She went on to be added to the International Gymnasts Hall of Fame in 1997. Mary Lou Retton was more recently in the news after recovering from a battle with pneumonia that threatened her life, as Rick just discussed, as Bright News has reported. So really a sad story for her. And especially now, right? We have the Olympics coming up in, 2026 in L.A.? Is that correct? Or is
That's
it 28?
right.
28?
28.
Right, 28. Yes. Trump's actual last year, he'll be there for that in Los Angeles. And this would be a natural for her because that's when she won her medals back in 84 in L.A. When Vin opened his bank account in 1984. That was in L.A. What a tie-in.
We had them, and they were at Pepperdine, by the way. The water polo and the water sports. I got to see some of that.
Unbelievable. So, and of course, this weekend, Indy 500 broadcast garners millions of viewers as Alex Palou wins for first time. Alex Palou has owned the IndyCar series this season. This is Ryan Gatos of Fox News reporting. Big race the other day on Sunday. More than 7 million viewers tuned in to watch Alex Palou in the first Indianapolis 500 of his career over the weekend. Fox Sports announced yesterday the race garnered 7.5 million viewers. Fox Sports said, citing Nielsen's fast national ratings. The company added that it had 8.4 million viewers at its peak between 4 and 4:15 Eastern Time. It was the most watched Indianapolis 500 in 17 years, according to Fox Sport. The last Indy 500 to draw comparable viewership was the 2008 race, which garnered an audience of 7.24 million. Fox Sports said viewership was up 40% from last year's race. It was the first year Fox broadcast the Indianapolis 500, so good for Fox. They put a big race there. Palou passed Marcus Ericsson with 14 laps to go in the race and held him and the rest of the pack at bay to win the race. It was the 5th win of the 2025 season of Palou and the first time a Spaniard had won the Indy 500. Palou started the race in 6th position on the second row, the outside of Scott Dixon and next to Felix Rosenquist. He needed to work hard to get to the front as persistent droplets of rain, there's always rain over there, and several caution flags came out, which could have halted the race in momentum at any time. As the race came down to the end, he got his opportunity to move past Ericsson. He had some lap traffic in front of him, but they didn't appear to hinder Palou's ability to win at all. For Palou, it was jubilation down the front stretch with the anticipation of kissing the bricks and some ice-cold milk to cool him after the grueling event. Yeah, they always got the ice-cold milk that they doused them with instead of champagne. Never could figure that one out.
That's a good tradition.
That is a great tradition, actually. Yeah, so. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, got some other events coming up. USA Hockey with a big win. We'll get into that in the next segment. That's, historic. And we'll get into that as well. We'll keep you up to date on the scores tonight in both the NHL and the NBA playoffs.
All right, Slick, 23 past the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. They sponsor sports. Let's do some news. Can't wait to hear about the biggest story in the history of the world.
In the world.
Let's do it with Rick Delgado. All news on this show is brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. EternalLifeCoin.com, all one word. Check it out. It's a great piece for anybody who's a believer or religious or just anybody in your life that you want to have some memento. to hold on to. EternalLifeCoin.com. Check it out. Rick Delgado, let me hear it.
All right, the biggest story in the world happening over the weekend over in Europe when video surfaced Monday morning of Brigitte Macron appearing to smush the face. Smush the face.
Oh, that story.
I
Of
spit
her
on you.
husband, French President Emmanuel Macron, as they arrived in Vietnam. The shocking moment was just the latest in a relationship that has been fraught with scandal, Damon. Cut number one. Check this out for yourself.
God.
If you didn't see it, I'm sure you did because everybody taking it to the face. To the face.
Look at his reaction.
Yes, watch. As the camera catches him off guard,
this is
they
so small.
realize, and 2 hands to the face. Smoosh.
Ooh.
Get out of my
Inspector
face.
Clouseau.
He's a mush. Come on.
Bonsoir. How are you?
Do you
There
have a
he is.
monkey?
The head of state, of course, took the shove to the face from his wife. It really is a smush.
He's
What do
a
you call
tough
it?
character.
The
huh?
relationship between the two has been quite the.
That's abuse.
the news
A
getter.
teacher should not do that to a student.
Isn't she old enough to be his mother? Isn't she like 20 years older than him or something? She's a lot older than
She's a
him.
much older person.
She
than-
was his teacher.
Yes.
Right, there you go. Okay.
Yes.
She was his teacher.
And he was a party machine back in the 80s. There's plenty of videos of him
It's a
dancing
big
it up.
age difference,
He was Slick Emmanuel before Slick Rick was Slick Rick.
Oh, I'm sure.
How do we know they weren't playing around and she just was saying, come on.
That was the word. That's the narrative I heard. Yeah, that's what I
Did you see his reaction? That was not
You
playing
see the
around.
reaction. That's
Yeah.
not playing around.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
Didn't
he
seem
was-
like it to me either. I'm just
Who broke that story? Face the Nation?
just trying to.
Yeah.
Yes, the head of state, he was just 15 years old, the age of
oui.
consent in France in 1993 when he met Madame Brigitte Macron, the 39-year-old school teacher who was smushing his face like a child.
Smush it in the
Like,
face. Smush it in the face. All right, 26 past the hour.
That's the
Now we're all
best
going
French
to talk
I've
with
ever
French
heard.
accent.
Smush it in the face.
Smush it in the face.
Oui, oui. All right, 26 past the hour. We're back right after this.
Champs-Élysées.
Champs-Élysées, smush it in the face.
What do the French call French toast?
I mean, stifle you.
Does your dog bite? No. Your dog just bit me. That's just not my dog. Yeah.
That's one of the greatest lines. How many times have you been in life where that's happened in like another scenario? Like you ask somebody a question, they tell you no because they just don't want to give you everything.
What about?
You
What
could have
about?
told me that.
What about when he has Cato set up to attack him?
Yeah.
They go through that whole thing, destroying his whole apartment, just so he can always be on alert.
Always be alert. That is such a great movie. I could hear my father laughing.
Oh yeah.
Well,
All right. Big super chat here,
All right.
guys. Big super chat. Listen up. Drag Blacker coming in hot. $100 super chat from Drag Blacker.
Whoa.
All of you must watch Richard Minter's recent interview with Konstantin Kisin, if I said that correctly, about the settling of America since colonial days and how it affects modern politics. An insightful deep dive into history that the left ignores and even the right does not know. So Drag Blacker putting us hip to Richard Minter's recent interview with Konstantin Kisin. Thank you for that, Drag Blacker. That's very nice coming in.
did not know
it's
that.
coming in hot.
Thank you, Constantine.
That's nice.
that is weird.
He must have been cousins with Ponce de Leon.
Is that your dog?
That's the greatest name ever, Ponce de Leon. I would have
Ponce
loved
de
to have
Leon.
that as a name.
Yeah, that's a man on a mission there.
That is a Ponce
What
de
do we
Leon.
call him? Ponce de Leon.
Yeah.
People would respect him.
Yep. He's hanging out, having beers with Magellan.
Magellan.
Hey, let me have a martini with Magellan.
I don't think
All right,
they made
damn it,
beer
Joe.
back
No,
then.
they were having whatever Moscow mules or something. Oh man,
Yeah, what's Magellan up to these days? I haven't seen him in a while.
I don't know.
He
The
got
last time I
lost.
saw him, he was at Columbus Circle.
He's what?
He got lost.
He got lost, yeah.
He lost his moral compass.
Like GPS was not working.
Oh man, Ponce de Leon. $100 super chat. Very nice.
Lisa says, I have two ex-brother-in-laws that I don't like. One is a creep, and I had to watch my mouth during my dad's funeral. Oh, boy. Well, you got to get along with everybody. Sometimes you just can't.
We have names?
You just can't. Yeah. Said his name. We'll talk about him on air.
Lisa Hawkins, Ponce de Leon is all over Florida. He's the man.
Oh, everywhere.
Of course.
That was the Fountain of Youth.
That's where he got lost, right?
That's one way of putting it.
That old man.
Delicate approach.
30 minutes past the hour.
Hello, Damon. I'd like to introduce you to my old bag. We met when she was 35 years old.
Oui, Vuitton.
We slap each other. That's how we
Slapping him
communicate.
around at 48 or whatever the deal is. I mean, man, put your big boy pants on, pal.
Old bag? I haven't heard that term in the longest time.
I can put my big boy pants on. She wears that.
That's the 70s child coming out in Damon.
Yeah.
It really
I
is.
said it off the air, Vin.
In his father's back seat.
Oh, sorry.
30 minutes past the hour. Come on, let's get it together here. 30 minutes
he's got a
past the
show
hour,
right
live
here.
from Studio 6B.
going
Let's
on
do a
here?
serious show here. This is serious stuff.
Let's straighten up here.
Biggest story in the world. 30 minutes past the hour.
was the biggest story in the world.
Let's do the second biggest story in the world. Now back to Rick Delgado. What's going on?
Oh, man, I can't wait for this one.
Top that one, pal.
Yeah.
Actually, if I must,
Yes, oui.
the second biggest story in the world just broke today.
Oh.
Hello.
But it happened here stateside, so there'll be no French accent.
Damn.
I really like doing
as a Secret Service suspends officers caught brawling on camera outside Obama's house.
This is the second biggest story?
This is huge. The Secret Service, as I said, as the headline from the New York Post, has suspended two uniformed officers who were reportedly caught on camera fighting each other outside former President Barack Obama's home last week.
Sure.
During the brawl, one federal officer allegedly grabbed a radio and threatened to whoop this girl's ass, was the quote.
What were they fighting over? Who was going to go paddleboarding with them?
I don't know. They haven't told us what they were fighting over, but here's the video of them. Little fisticuffs, as they call it. Cut number 3. Check this out.
Let's see.
Caught on video.
Let's see if this is.
As you can see them wrestling with each other, pushing up against the car.
Oh.
Those are two women Secret Service officers.
Not exactly UFC.
Are they on duty?
No. They're on duty, of course.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, what are they doing? That's pathetic.
And, that's
And they
what
stop
happened.
5 seconds later. I mean, how is this even a story?
The fisticuffs.
Delgado found it.
How is this a story? It's all over the place.
Was Barack in the car?
Damon,
That's the video?
If you crack open the internet these days, you can find just about anything.
Let's peel this back, shall we?
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that was Macron's wife. And they
According
were,
to
really
the
Really? Macron's wife did more damage.
Yeah, that's true.
Good old bag.
Should have bet a straight arm.
Then you had these two young bags with fisticuffs. Happened outside of Obama's Washington, D.C. home, about 2 miles northwest of the White House. She also screamed, "I need a supervisor out here immediately before I whoop this girl's ass," one of the women says into the radio.
I like that. I like that part.
A Secret Service spokesperson confirmed the fight to the New York Post, and the U.S. Secret Service is aware of the on-duty altercation that occurred between, check this out, the two officers at 2:30 a.m. 2:30 in the morning.
I mean, come on. This is no
They're
story.
fighting.
This is not a story.
The individuals involved were suspended from duty, and this matter is subject to an internal investigation. The Secret Service has a
This is
very
a
strict
cop-out.
code of conduct for all employees, and any behavior that violates this code is unacceptable.
Let me see that video again, Aaron.
Watch it.
Seriously,
Yeah.
look at the end of
I
this
mean,
fight.
come
After
on.
5 seconds, she just gives up and walks away. Watch when they get to the end of the car. Pushing, and then
She pushes her
stop.
away.
And then I turn around. She turns her back to her. She was so scared of her.
Exactly what happened to Macron.
I mean, Macron took more damage than those two did.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Huge story, though.
I do like the whoop ass part. She should have said, open up a can of whoop ass.
Yeah.
That would even be
Oh,
better.
the old can.
And then the third biggest story,
Uh-oh.
of the
I don't know
day.
how you're going to top this one.
Believe it or not, I don't know if I can. That'll be up to you to decide that.
Okay, we will tell you.
President Donald Trump has pardoned reality stars Todd and Julie Crisley.
Yeah, I
You
saw
know, the
this.
Crisleys.
Yeah.
People are not happy with this, though, from what I can tell, because they think these people really did
they
some
are kind of
nasty stuff.
They are kind of shady.
Yeah.
But President Trump informed the daughter of the disgraced reality TV stars, Todd and Julie Crisley, earlier today that he plans to pardon the couple as soon as tomorrow. Your parents are going to be free and clean, he said, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow, Trump told Savannah Crisley on a phone call from the Oval Office. I don't know them, but give them my regards, and I wish them a good life. The president continued. Todd and Julie Crisley, known, of course, for the TV show Crisley Knows Best, were convicted of tax evasion and bank fraud back in 2022.
Oh, that's what it was for. It wasn't just for doing lousy TV.
Oh.
No, it wasn't for terrible TV.
Oh, okay.
I actually used to watch the dumb show. It sucked you in. It just sucked you in.
I used to watch Grizzly Adams. Oh, no, Grizzly
I have
Adams.
no idea who these people are.
You don't know who they are?
No.
I have no idea either.
I guess he made his money from strip malls down south.
Oh, okay.
And all that stuff. He had a big portfolio, and I guess started to sell it all and became a reality star, and everything went up.
If it's not a Seinfeld rerun, I'm not watching it.
So the argument for the pardon is what? That they got treated unfairly by the DOJ, but the charges were real at the time, weren't they? Didn't they do some shady, you know what?
Yeah, according to this, federal prosecutors accused the couple of submitting fake documents to banks in order to secure more than $30 million in fraudulent loans.
So what is Leticia James under investigation for?
Which they walked away from after declaring bankruptcy before the start of their reality TV show career. So they built an empire based on a lie of wealth that came from dedication and hard work, that says here. According to the federal prosecutors, the jury's unanimous verdict set the record straight. Todd and Julie Crisley are career swindlers who made a living by jumping from one fraud scheme to another, lying to banks, stiffing vendors, and evading taxes at every corner. So there you have it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to the fourth and fifth biggest news stories here, probably in hour two, or maybe a little later in this hour.
That is fascinating
Can't
stuff.
wait for those.
Riveting.
Huge.
36 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. The only story that well, not the only story.
Yeah.
But one of the stories I saw that I just continue to shake my head, and we've talked about this until we're blue in the face, and I just don't understand why every damn time I see the word Supreme Court, I have to see the same basic story, that we have two conservative justices, and that's it. Because I see this headline, and I just shake my head and think, I don't know that I want to live in the world of the Supreme Court's vision right now. Supreme Court denies students' case over "there are only two genders" T-shirt. The Supreme Court rejected a legal battle from a student who was punished for wearing a shirt stating that only two genders exist. The student, identified as LM in court papers, was in 7th grade in 2023 when he wore a shirt at a time when the school officials taught gender identity, presenting it as a choice unrelated to biology. LM said students were encouraged to wear rainbows, but he opted to wear a T-shirt that stated there are only two genders. His school, Nicholas Middle School in, of course, Middleborough, Massachusetts, required him to remove the shirt or else miss the day of classes. He refused to opt out. He refused to take off the shirt and opted to miss class. Officials reasoned that the shirt targeted a protected class of students. The lower court sided, of course, up there with the school, saying the shirt could cause a disruption. Then the kid had asked the Supreme Court to review his appeal on First Amendment grounds. It would have taken 4 justices to vote in favor of hearing his appeal for it to be granted. Without any comment, the court declined to take it up. But, and here's the line, Justice Samuel Alito Jr. and Justice Clarence Thomas dissented, saying they thought the court should revisit the legal dispute. Justice Alito said the justices should reaffirm that a school can't engage in viewpoint discrimination. This case makes it clear some lower courts are confused on how to manage the tension between students' rights and schools' obligations, he said. Our nation's students, teachers, and administrators deserve clarity on this critically important question, Justice Alito wrote. And I'm not going to go on through the whole article because the point is, if the kid was wearing a Black Lives Matter T-shirt, no one would have had a problem with it, and said it wouldn't have said that targets any specific group, like, oh, I don't know, white people. No, that wouldn't have registered. But wearing a shirt that says there are only two genders, the lower court says, "Oh yeah, that could be a problem," and the Supreme Court denies to take it up, with supposedly 5 conservative justices on the court, supposedly, we couldn't get 4 of them, including Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, to join Alito and Thomas to take up a case like this. No, it's not. No, not good enough. And I just don't. I mean, you just get to the point with the Supreme Court where you just think. I mean, I've almost forgotten about ACB. I don't even consider her as somebody who's even on our side at this point.
It's a Mitch McConnell.
Not that they should be on a side, but you know what I mean. It's just won't even. But it's just the same story every time. Alito and Thomas on an island by themselves. And the other ones just, you have no idea. You just have no idea what they think or what they're going to think that day or I don't know. There just seems to be no driving, discernible, constitutional, drive no North Star that they seem to be following.
That's what they're following is their political leaning, not the Constitution. That's what they're following. That's the star. Their political leanings are coming out every decision they're making, even the 5-4 votes that are doing things favorable to the administration or following the Constitution. They're 5-4. They should be 9-zip. They should be 8-1. They should not be 5-4. And the fact that they're even close, these people are not judging on constitutional basis or the language or any of these things. They're judging on these political and in many cases woke views. Look at who's the judge that Obama got in there? What's her name?
Which one?
The woman.
Did she identify as that?
Obama got who in?
Was it Obama or Biden?
Biden got Jackson in.
Yeah, her.
Ketanji
Jackson. She's the one that appalls me the most. Although I have to say, Amy Barrett there really appalls me. But coming from Mitch McConnell. But the other one I think really gets to me because she does not rule on anything but this left-wing progressive bias. And I don't know how someone like that even got approved to be on the Supreme Court, like the questioning and so on. And who leaked the abortion thing? They're investigating that now.
They're investigating that, yeah.
This should be very interesting because if it's one of those judges, don't you think they would be removed?
You would hope.
Yeah. I hope that is the case.
Well, I don't know if this is going to help you out there, Damon. First time in Rasmussen's polling history, talking about the Supreme Court, and we feel like we're living in crazy town. For the first time in Rasmussen polling history, a majority of Americans say the U.S. is indeed on the right track. This is the first time that they've ever had this result.
Wow.
What's that have to do with the Supreme Court?
It has to do with the Supreme Court. I think we're starting to slowly see things start to a sea change. Maybe it's taken the Supreme Court a little longer. Maybe somebody needs to get in some of these conservative justices' ears and say, hey, you guys aren't paying attention to what's going on out here.
Wait, but I'm sorry. Does that poll reflect people's view of the court being in the right direction or the country overall?
I think they're talking about the direction of the country overall.
Oh, okay.
With Trump being
that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, they should.
So President Trump is enjoying a 52% favorability rating. But it's the first time Rasmussen doing this, coming out with this.
If you think that's going to help the Supreme Court, what I kind of see happening on this side of it, and you see it with these federal judges, is they think they're part of the resistance.
Right. Yeah.
They think they are resisting something. What are you resisting?
Yeah.
People want this.
Yeah.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We got more to do, more Vinnie Mac news coming up, and more sports to wrap up hour one right after this. Man, quick hour one.
Wow, that was quick.
That's amazing.
Like a minus.
Yeah, because they're both. They're both always looking to shoot too.
It's the defense.
Two ball dominant.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that because I really like this Brunson.
What is this? What do you give him, forearm here? Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
and give it other.
You know who's really impressive is Siakam. He just hit a 3-pointer. I think the ball hit the ceiling and came down swish.
But when he's matched up on him,
Towns is too strong. Towns is a big boy.
gotta keep
Towns is built like Damon. He's got like that big body. Hard to move those
He
guys.
was amazing, though. I mean, I have to say, like, give that guy what a fourth quarter he had. I haven't seen a fourth quarter like that for a big man.
What were you, a power forward, Big D? What would you play?
Oh, gee. You're a stretch 3
How were you in the paint?
today's game.
Too short. You were like Charles Barkley. No. Oh, like Bird. Yeah, you were like Bird. Wow.
I like to model my game after Larry Bird.
You weren't built like him. Well, you might have been when you were in college. Back in the day.
Yeah. I model my game after Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wished you would disappear. Kind of magic.
More like Tragic Johnson.
No look passes, a couple of chucks here or there, a hook shot.
Then your mom would call you inside for dinner.
I'd never professed to be a basketball player, although I can chuck them with the best. You want me to ruin the rhythm of a offensive flow? Just throw the ball to me. I'll throw up a three-pointer and not even hit it.
Chat, live in the Jets. I'm about to annihilate somebody on Facebook, Vin. I don't know if I should.
Should I come over?
Hit send.
No, you got to hit send.
He posted this Trump denial syndrome. Like, dude, I told you years ago you needed help, and you didn't listen. Now here you are using social media to once again focus on someone you were programmed to hate because because of your mental.
Wait, you're
weakness.
reading your own typed out thing that you haven't sent yet?
That I
Like a
haven't sent
draft?
yet.
Oh my God, you guys need help. No, I mean, I'm serious. You guys need help.
Well, I haven't sent it yet because I'm like, do I want to get into this fight?
Why don't you have Vin proofread it?
I'll add a few things to that for you. Oh.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. I almost said it. I went Tuesday.
Thank God it's not a
it does
leap
feel
year.
like a Monday.
May 27th. Glad you're in, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the top stories in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. We'll get to more of all of that. But right now, Vinnie Mac is back. He was away all week down in Florida, and he's back, and I'm sure he's got plenty of stuff on his mind.
Yeah.
Vinnie Mac's news also brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. Vinnie Mac, what's going on?
One thing that caught my eye today I want to start with, but I have my main story, which I really want to get to. But I don't know if you've heard about these researchers that found the remains of Noah's Ark. Have you heard about this?
Oh no.
They found the remains of it. They've been searching for a long time. What they found is a 538-foot long boat, fitting and matching what the Book of Genesis says about this. And the reason I bring up this story, while first off that's remarkable, but the last 10 years, I have noticed lots of findings that support biblical stories. Stories that many skeptics and many people have said, oh, that's not true. Like, for instance, this couldn't have happened in this time frame because we've dated everything, the minerals and all. We found the dating to be completely different. It could never have happened. And now through new technology, they're finding some of this dating is not accurate, like the United States and Europe and how we separated and the Atlantic Ocean became formed. That was thought to have been over thousands and thousands of years, and new dating says that it wasn't. So there's so many things coming out that are touching upon biblical stories to prove them accurate. I think it's a remarkable time, and a remarkable time to be alive to start seeing these things because, I mean, what's more important? than that. So it did catch my eye. Here's the thing that really got me going today, and I forget about Facebook battles. I have been battling with a couple of my friends who have canceled me, essentially, about some of these issues. And they center around this Trump's a dictator, Trump's a fascist idea. But what I get to from here is when you have a narrative like that, which the mainstream media and the left have put out about Trump being a dictator, fascist, and Hitler, and all this stuff that we hear all the time, and it drives us crazy, that on its surface is terrible. But what that has enabled is the thinking that we're seeing now within the walls of the Biden administration, not only covering up for a president that should not have been serving, but this small group of people making decisions behind the scenes. And it came out over the weekend that, because Trump was such a threat, because Trump was going to be, a fascist and a dictator and Hitler, they kind of felt entitled to do this. And you think about how the left uses their rhetoric to scare people and how they use their rhetoric to intimidate people. And in this case, how they use their rhetoric to sort of enable these deep staters working within the Biden administration, and the information coming out now is just staggering. I'm sure you guys have talked about this, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to make that one point because when I get into these battles with people, they are basically centered around this whole dictatorship, fascist idea, and they basically that's their issue. That's Vin, we can't be friends anymore because you're on TV and you're on in social media talking about and enabling a guy that's a dictator, wants to be a dictator, and he's fascist, and he's doing all the things that he's supposed to be doing there. And I'm thinking, where are they getting all of this from? And then you hear about the Biden deep state using that as a tool to effectuate policy, effectuate pardons, and everything else that they did. And who knows what else they've done, that we're not fully aware of, all in the name of protecting us from this threat that they've created this narrative around that Donald Trump is. And I find the full circle here to be extraordinarily ironic.
Do you ever ask them to maybe list one thing that fits their whatever they're trying to
do? The narrative.
I got hit today with a very, very, very close friend of mine who we've been friends for 50 plus years. And I said, well, give me an example. And he said, well, okay. 2 examples. The digital coin that Trump came out with, he's making millions. He's using, as fascists do, the system to put millions in his pocket. And that was his one big thing. And then
a meme coin. That was his argument?
Yeah, the meme coin.
That he came out with before he was even president?
This was his argument. And then whatever dinner he had at the White House with his biggest donors that have bought his meme coin, he says they're buying access to the president. And I got hit with this again today because I'm trying to resolve, a personal relationship here. I have a friend that I've had for a long time. And one of the questions I posed to him, which I thought was pretty smart on my part, I want to see what you guys think about this. I thought it was a...
Well, we'll be the judge of that, Vic.
It was a good angle. Yeah, you could be the judge of that. After going back and forth on the usual stuff, give me an example of this. He didn't do that. I don't believe the mainstream media and all this kind of stuff. I finally said, look, Trump was president for 4 years. You said all of these same things back then, and none of them came to fruition. Now you're saying them again. You're citing some examples that I don't really buy. But let's just say that you're right. And let's see what happens at the end of 4 years. So you're not going to talk to me. You're no longer going to be my friend. And then at the end of 4 years, when Trump leaves office and someone else gets elected, what happens then? You're going to call me and say, oh yeah, he didn't become a dictator or a fascist, and I'm really sorry about what happened. I said, you want to just blow 4 years? And this is what I hear from a lot of people that I get into these battles with. I'm sure you do too, and to some extent with some of these battles about the dictatorship and the fascist thing.
It's always the same thing.
That's the line.
And I spent far too much time the other day. I think it was on Saturday.
Easy line too. It's just so easy to say that. That's
right. It's like, look, you got this from somewhere. You didn't come up with this yourself. But don't worry, because I know the person that told you that he's a fascist and he's a dictator. Also, the people that told you the Russia hoax was true, the P-tape was true, the FBI wasn't spying on his campaign was true, the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't true. I listed 30 of them.
Yeah.
I said, and I can keep going. Right.
People on both sides argument. It's all the same.
We have a great defense.
Them all. I said, I could keep going, but I think you kind of get the gist. And you're going to take their word still instead of just thinking for yourself. Left it at that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to mic drop it. And I guess my full kind of circle point of all this is, here's two things going on. Here's regular people like us, having battles with friends where we're basically trying to defend this. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, the only real proof is at the end of Trump's term, is he going to be a dictator or a fascist? Like, is that going to happen? Right? So we all, that's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. And the other side of it is, this is used now internally by the deep state. Why are they deleting things that Doge is trying to go after? Why are they resisting at such a level? Why are they doing all this stuff? Sure, they're doing corrupt things and they're trying to protect themselves, but they also feel, because of this narrative and the way the media has enabled it, that they're protecting us. And I bet you when those people within the Biden administration get interviewed, they're going to say, we were protecting the country from this threat that Donald Trump is. And the threat is a false narrative made up by a bunch of people at the DNC, no different than Hillary Clinton paying for the dossier and starting this whole other thing. But look at how far it's gone.
Right.
It's gone to a friend of yours. It's gone to a friend of mine.
The only problem with that, if they try to use that, and this is just my opinion, if they try to use that as a defense, we're trying to protect the country from Donald Trump. You were doing this from 21 to 24. Right. Donald Trump wasn't president. Who are you protecting us from again?
Yeah.
Please tell us.
They have no defense here.
They have no defense.
Yeah.
There is no but Trump.
This is, even as Jake Tapper said, I'm no fan of Jake Tapper. I can't stand the guy, two-faced, etc. But this is bigger than Watergate ever was. This is, Watergate was spying. That was, bad. Blah, blah, blah. This is way worse. Deep, deep stuff.
All right, it's a wrap. Hour 1, Hour 2, coming back live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday, Real America's Voice. We're back right after this.
Now, I have a very good friend. He's a biblical scholar, and he writes books. We should have him on the show one of these days, by the way. And the books he writes are based on the truths from the Bible and scientifically backing them up through the testing. So he's walked me through the whole process they used to do to test, like, thousands of years took this, and thousands of years, it couldn't have been true. Like, the Bible, it couldn't have happened. And he's proving that these things did happen through new testing technology. And when you hear the stories, I have to say, it gives you chills, because we have been convinced through science classes that certain things, it was just impossible.
Right.
It's just, these things were just impossible. Couldn't have happened. But we're seeing, and us through this gentleman, he's proving one by one these things not to be not true. And real science backs him up.
What does he say about the Epic of Gilgamesh?
I don't know. Epic of who?
Gilgamesh.
What is Gilgamesh?
Wasn't that in Lord of the Rings Part 3?
No. That's one of the original flood stories. This is what Noah was based on.
I don't know.
No way.
I didn't ever ask him that question, but I'm sure he'll have an answer. Plus the fact that they found the ark in a particular spot.
And it's
in Turkey, right?
They've
Mount
always
Ararat.
identified it in Turkey.
Mount Ararat, right?
Mount Ararat.
Right around there, but it's a slightly different spot. They actually found the frame of a 500 and whatever, what did I say, 38-foot ship. Imagine building a 538-foot ship back then.
Wow.
Anyhow.
What's
That's
crazy
a miracle.
what's crazy is that there was a finding of quote unquote a ship underneath ice.
Right.
That one guy says he climbed into and all that stuff.
I heard that too.
And that when the CIA flew over, they took pictures. They immediately classified all the pictures. You can't look at it.
Typical.
And you're not allowed to fly over that
There's
area.
something to all of this.
It's like, well, then I guess there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah. But we better classify it because it's meaningless.
It's like
thank you.
Antarctica. You know what? Yeah, we have Antarctica. You just can't fly over this part. Why not? Because you can't. Why? Well, because. There's no reason. They never give you a reason.
Yeah. Well, that's all they need to say is you can't. And then you're like, okay.
And it's the only time every country in the world signed a treaty that said, okay, we're good with our Antarctica. Nobody's going to.
Live from Studio 6B, Hour 2, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, May 27th on a Tuesday. Night Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Boy, fast Hour 1 already gone by. Hour 2 coming up. Slick's going to do sports here in a second. Rick Delgado's going to have some more news. Vinnie Mac has got some thoughts on some things as well here in Hour 2. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. I'll get to some things as well, including what the president is doing with Harvard, and I think it's good for him. It's very pro-America, what he's doing. It's not anti-Harvard, it's pro-America. And the left views it as anti-Harvard. And I think people forget this is a school that didn't want to have Japanese and Chinese students who were more than well qualified to be at the school because they didn't want them there.
Yeah.
This is what we're dealing with. This is the school. This is not the Harvard of Alan Dershowitz likes to tell us and other people who went there how great it was. Well, maybe it was, but it hasn't been in a long time. It's been heavily politically motivated, identity motivated, and many other things. And they get an exorbitant, disgusting amount of money, grants and everything else, endowments and all this other stuff. And what President Trump is doing, good for him. Because it's pro-America. That's what it is. Nothing else, nothing less. If you were going to frame it, that's how I would frame it.
You know, these naysayers we were talking about that talk about Trump, dictator, fascist, they use education as part of that. When you start changing and taking over the education system, this is what's already happened.
Yeah, well,
they've commandeered it already.
The infiltration of the education system.
Yeah.
From these places.
He's protecting us from that. And they infiltrated it already to their argument, and Trump's protecting us from it. Crazy how flip the script.
Yeah, so we'll get to some of that in Hour 2 as well. Ron Johnson, we'll get to him.
Yeah.
And he's not on an island by himself all of a sudden.
Nope.
Ron Johnson, Rand Paul, Tommy Tuberville, I believe.
Yep.
And others are waking up to see what we've been screaming, or I at least have been screaming about now for two weeks, and taking lots of grief because you don't, grab the pom-poms, click your heels, and just get in line with this abomination of a bill. And it's, sometimes it takes the courage of one for others to say, okay, I got a little political cover here. Let me also, because this is how I really feel. And Senator Ron Johnson has provided that in the Senate. And now you're having others jump on the bandwagon because they know that this is not what you voted for in any way, shape, or form. So we'll get into some of that as well, but let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell LFS6B is the promo code to use at checkout if you feel like supporting Mike, and shop at MyPillow, mypillow.com/LFS6B. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D, get you updated now. NHL action. The Oilers right now lead the Stars 1-0 at the end of one. Leon Draisaitl lets the lamp at 11:23 of the first period for the Edmonton Oilers, who are looking to leave with a commanding 3-1 to lead as they'll head back to Dallas at the American Airlines Center for the Game 4. So they're actually Game 5. They're up 2-1 right now, Edmonton. So 1-0, end of one. And to the NBA we go. Good one with the Knicks in Indiana. Right now, Pacers leading 60-56 with 2:45 to go in this first half, second quarter there. And Indianapolis leads that series 2-1. And the Knicks are looking to grab one, bring it home tied at 2 in the Garden. I think this game's going to go right down to the wire here. So they're playing rough and tumbling, but I think it's going to be a great one. We got the Cardinals over the Orioles, 5-4, top of the 8th to the Diamond. Phillies 1-0 over the Braves, top 8. Middle of the 8th, Twins lead the Rays 4-2. White Sox trail the Mets 5-2, bottom 6. Top of the 6th, no score, Red Sox and Brewers in Milwaukee. Reds over the Royals 3-2, top 6. Mid-4th, Cubs lead the Rockies 2-1. The no score Blue Jays and Rangers top 4. Bottom 3rd, Astros lead the Athletics 5-0. Finals from earlier today, the Dodgers 9-5 over the Guardians. Tigers top the Giants 3-1. Yankees taking on the Angels 9:38 first pitch out in California, and the Marlins take on the Padres at 9:40. With the other games are the Pirates and Diamondbacks, Nationals and Mariners. I think we need a few more baseball teams. You know, we have enough scores.
A little shortage.
Good Lord. Yeah, and wow, this was great news for the USA hockey team right over the weekend.
Man.
Team USA outlasts Switzerland, wins ice hockey world title. You would think that the United States would have a few of these skins on the wall in the last 100 years. Well, guess what? ESPN News reporting out of Stockholm, Buffalo Sabres star Tage Thompson scored the winner, 2:02 into overtime, and Team USA outlasted Switzerland 1-0 in the final of the Ice Hockey World Championship at Avicii Arena on Sunday. It is the first on-ice trophy for USA Hockey in this tournament in 92 years. After the Americans won it in 1933, and Sunday's win was emotional. As Team USA posed for its championship trophy at center ice, players held up a number 13 jersey of the great Johnny Gaudreau, the former NHL and USA hockey star forward who died last August when he and his brother Matthew were hit tragically by an allegedly drunken and enraged driver as they cycled that night in their home state of New Jersey on the eve of their sister Katie's wedding. Yeah, we covered that story. I'll never forget. One of the worst stories I ever did. Johnny was bleeping here watching this one. Team USA's Ryan Rostovsky, coach of the San Jose Sharks, said to his team during his celebratory locker room speech that was posted on USA's hockey social media platforms. He was up there watching this one. Thompson, who had 44 goals and 72 points for the Sabres this season, is hoping to polish his resume for a spot on the USA roster for the 2026 Olympics, and he's off to a great start. A Team USA reserve for the Four Nations face-off in February, who did not suit up. Thompson made the most of his time playing with a group of young NHL forwards. I'm sure he will after that great win in OT. I'm sure he'll be on that Olympic hockey team, you know, of course, with his health to be well. And Boston goaltender Jerry Swayman capped the shutout in the final, finished with 25 saves after his NHL teammate David Pastrnak led the Czech Republic to the same title. So that's great news. I really love to see a story like that. I just can't believe, if you asked me on a lurk, I would have said, no, they've won that thing in the last, maybe back in the 70s. We stole one here and there. That's amazing.
Nothing.
So great story there for the USA hockey team, Big D. And that's a wrap in sports. Let's got everything covered there.
All right, Slick, very good. 7 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some more headlines, and here with that is...
I'm so glad.
I think we're on number 4 or 5.
It's my cue.
That would be Rick Delgado. What's going on, Mr. Delgado?
All right. Well, let's talk about Leticia James, shall we, Damon?
Yes.
Yes.
As one of my favorites, Sam E. Antar, also known as Crazy Eddie Antar, posted this from his recent interview with Benny Johnson regarding Leticia James. Again, if you don't know who Crazy Eddie Antar is, he ran an appliance place, a store in the Northeast.
Crazy Eddie.
Yeah, Crazy Eddie.
Love Crazy Eddie.
In the Northeast, got busted for financial crimes, kind of massaging the stock price, so to speak, sent to jail. But actually, once he got out of jail, he's been teaching for the last 30 years. He's been the go-to guy in terms of helping federal investigators identify financial crimes.
Yeah.
So he's got quite the resume, and he has made it his personal mission to make sure he's looking into everything Attorney General Leticia James out of New York has been up to. Just 2 days ago, it writes here, the New York City Department of Buildings officially verified that Attorney General Leticia James' Brooklyn brownstone is a 5-unit building, despite her claiming it's a 4-unit building on every mortgage since 2001. He's got links for his full investigation. He's got his physical evidence, which is undeniable: 6 electric meters, 5 doorbells, legal certificate of occupancy, classifying as a 5-family dwelling, and of course every document signed by Leticia James verifying all this. Here he is talking to, again, Betty Johnson regarding what he's finding out. Cut number 4. Check this out.
Every single financial disclosure to New York State as far back as 2019 contains false information with her signature on it. Every single mortgage on her property in Brooklyn from when she purchased it contains false information. The Virginia property, which she claims like the power of attorney that she signed was a mistake, whatever, implicates her. Okay. The situation that she has is she put pen to paper. I didn't. Donald Trump didn't. MAGA didn't do it. You didn't do it. She owns this fraud. She did it.
Yeah, and he just released also.
Talk about karma.
Yeah,
by the way,
he also just released today. Actually, yesterday on Memorial Day, a step-by-step prosecution guide for the DOJ to follow. He says this isn't a theory; it's a fully documented blueprint for indicting and convicting New York Attorney General Leticia James for federal mortgage fraud. This report breaks down in detail how prosecutors can use her own sworn documents, financial benefit trail, and public admissions to prove a textbook violation of 18 U.S.C. 1014. Read the full DOJ memo below. Blah, blah, blah. He's got August 17 sworn declarations. He's got emails. He's got her May 20th admission. All the stuff that the DA would need to prosecute and put her behind bars where she belongs, because that's how she treats people in New York. And nobody's above the law, from what I understand.
We have an over/under on that happening.
Oh, I think.
Let's put it this way: who's going to go first? Who's going to get arrested first? Her, Comey, or someone regarding the Epstein files?
I would say she does.
I think she's probably the lowest hanging fruit of all those.
Yeah,
she's expendable. As far as those are concerned, she's expendable. Comey would bring down too many people with him, so they got to be careful there. And what was your other one?
Anybody related to Epstein?
Epstein, yeah. Oh. Epstein's going to be the last one. I would put her first, Comey second, Epstein third.
Mm-hmm. And what's the percentage you have on any of them actually happening?
I've got pretty good odds on Leticia.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Getting fitted for a new potato sack.
I think that I agree with Rick on that one, man. I think she's going to get it.
Yeah, good.
I think she deserves it.
It's the ultimate in karma.
Yeah.
I mean, the ultimate. She went after the president on some stupid, frivolous thing that wasn't even true. Right. And she's got caught for doing exactly what she went after him for.
Right. That he didn't do, but she actually did.
She actually did.
Right.
Throwing stones with a glass house. Nice move.
Total karma, man. And they're all going to feel a little bit of karma here.
Yeah.
Across the board.
That's...
What? Come on, Debbie Downer.
Right word, but I don't want to say impressive, but man, that takes some... To accuse somebody of something that you are actually doing, and to be that public of a figure, and act like you were so outraged at what he was doing, is something else.
Damon, Biden did it. You're the one that takes money from China. My son doesn't take money from China.
It's a common thread.
I know, but
it's what they do.
Well, it's good for me.
He could obviously not have really actually known, because he doesn't know what his name is.
But that's what the left does. That's one of the tenets of Marxism. Is accuse the others of what you're actually doing.
They have lived on that philosophy for quite a while.
A core.
That's what they do. You want any more? I got more. Stories from around the world.
I got more.
All right, 13 past the hour. Stories from around the world. When we get back, right after this, live from Studio 6.
Get some napkins with that.
I want to see more video of Secret Service fighting.
that's isn't Jake? Where's Jay Clayton? Wouldn't he be the guy?
Southern
have to pull the
District of New
trigger?
York?
Yeah. I don't see it.
I just want to see them be taken to task, frankly. Yeah, and I think most people, especially in the chat here, everybody wants these things to happen. We're still a little skeptical because we haven't seen things, but everything I hear is there's a lot of investigations going on. Leticia's one of them.
The Supreme Court leak.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking into a lot of stuff. I mean, something's got to fall here. Even the Epstein thing. I mean, they do claim.
Did you hear Rudy this weekend?
No. What did he say?
Let's see if I can find it.
Chat. Live in the chats.
Jerry Merrill's with you there, Rick. 100% Delgado. 100%.
100%.
Not 99, Rick. Perfect score.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Give me a little audio here.
Give David a little audio here.
I think it still exists on Epstein, and I think I think we are going to see it, and I think they're struggling with it. I really do believe that. I think we are.
Why are they struggling?
Because I think it probably involves something that could have big implications on our national security, foreign policy, allies. It has to be something very, very, very sensitive. Yeah. The Kennedy thing, I think, is gone. I think we're just going to be one of those things where we're going to be discussing it 100 years from now. If we still have history as a course, well, certainly not in the Ivy League schools. They don't do history any longer.
Sure don't.
That's a subject that isn't
That's
taught.
the truth. That is true.
So, and this is the final question on the subject, but given what you know about the prison that Jeffrey Epstein was held in, how would you kill someone in that?
How would I do it?
How would you do it?
It's like OJ.
How is it possible?
How did I do it?
I didn't do it. But
I would. I think the easiest way to do it is to.
There you go.
Wow.
There's a little more.
It doesn't tell you how he would do it? I'd first get rid of the guards, disconnect the video feed, and hire a couple people to make.
Sound like the blues on a Tuesday. Well, July's almost here. Coming up, there's a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging superpowers, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. They're calling this the Rio Reset. As BRICS nations push forward with their plans, global demand for U.S. dollars will decrease, bringing down the value of the dollars in your savings. While this transition won't happen overnight, the Rio Reset in July marks a pivotal moment when BRICS objectives move decisively from theoretical possibility towards inevitable reality. Learn if diversifying your savings into gold could be right for you. Birch Gold can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free information kit now on gold by texting the word America to 989898. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of satisfied customers. You can let Birch Gold arm you with a free no-obligation kit on owning gold before July and before the Rio Reset. Just text the word America right now to 989898. Text the word America to the number 989898 from your mobile device. And do it today. And by the way, the greatest governor in the country, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, today, huge announcement signing a bill that will now deem gold and silver, and I believe other precious metals, as currency in the state of Florida, which is a huge deal. Every red state should follow that lead. But having to do with just that with Birch Gold and what we're doing here. Big news out of Florida today. Gold and silver now deemed as actual, recognized as currency. So you're talking about your financial sovereignty against a government $36 trillion in debt, wanting to blow that to $56 trillion over the next 10 years, and the dollar being worth a lot less every single day, and your purchasing power melting away. That's one way. If you're not into crypto or Bitcoin, that's another way to do it, is to start recognizing precious metals as legitimate currency. So big news out of Florida today. Well, let's be honest, we're not getting any younger, and if you want to look and feel your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements designed to help with every health goal, whether it's boosting your energy, trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping your testosterone up, or even reducing swelling in your legs. Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Each formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients backed by clinical research and manufactured right here in the USA. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount. Just go to purehealthresearch.com and use coupon code 6B at checkout. They have a 365-day money-back guarantee, 365-day money-back guarantee. So there's zero, and I mean zero, risk in trying something new. So why wait? Head over to purehealthresearch.com, explore their 45 amazing supplements, and save 35% before this deal ends with coupon code 6B. Don't miss a chance to feel your best. purehealthresearch.com. Go there now, purehealthresearch.com. All right, 20 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Let's do news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by EternalLifeCoin.com. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, follow up on a story that broke a little more than a week ago as 10 escapees from the New Orleans jailbreak. Turns out 8 have been captured, Damon. 3 more were picked up yesterday.
At the Mensa meeting? Where'd they find them?
More than a week after 10 prisoners conducted their daring escape out of a cell wall in New Orleans jail. 2 inmates remain on the run, prompting an intensified search across state lines. Authorities yesterday captured 3 escapees, Lenton Van Buren Jr., Leo Tate, and Jermaine Donald. Tate and Donald were the first of the escaped inmates to be found yesterday outside of Louisiana. They were arrested in Texas after what the Huntsville Police Department described as a high-speed chase involving multiple law enforcement agencies. Now with 8 escapees returned, the manhunt continues for the 2 remaining inmates, Lincoln Burrows and Michael Schofield, both of whom are considered armed and dangerous.
No.
You have that.
No. Those are not the only. No.
What?
No, those 2 are not the 2. Lincoln Schofield and Michael Burrows are not the 2.
No, it's Lincoln Burrows and Michael Schofield.
No, Lincoln Burrows and Michael Schofield are not the 2 left remaining.
They actually have a history of being escaping from prisons. I don't know
one
if you
guy's
know
a
that.
bad dude.
I know what you're doing.
I don't know if you know that.
I know it's exactly what you're doing here.
Oh.
He's not getting by with me.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'll give a free T-shirt to anybody in the chat right now who knows what Delgado's doing here. So first person I see, tell me why that news is not getting by you either, like it's not getting by me. You get a free T-shirt, so let's wait and see how long it takes.
All right, very good.
Lincoln Burrows and Michael Schofield are not the 2 convicts. College grad failure wins. College grad failure wins. There he goes. Very good. Impressive. Very impressive.
All right, let us in on the secret here.
College grad failure.
It's the one thing Damon's ever watched on TV.
That's not true.
So I could never get this past.
Lie. That's a vicious lie. It's a great show, though.
Yes. Anyhow, one more quick story here before we go to break here.
Send us an email, college grad failure, lfs6b@yahoo.com. You're the winner.
I think this really has to do with, and I think, Vin, you can get on board with this one.
Thank you.
As Kira Sedgwick. You know who she is, the actress?
Married
she released a video because she's so concerned about the country.
Yeah. Sure.
I thought maybe you would have some thoughts on this as well. Here she is, Kira Sedgwick, of course, also known as Mrs. Kevin Bacon, fears losing everything because of Trump. Cut number 2. Check this out.
Oh, God.
How you doing?
Good.
Hi.
I felt like it was important to get on the blower
Why?
and talk a little bit about how I'm feeling and wondering how you're feeling about the state of our union. I'm finding myself pretty scared about a lot of things. Scared about losing my rights as a woman. Scared about losing my right to vote as a woman. Scared about losing autonomy over my body as a woman. Scared of my parents' Social Security checks.
Okay, pause it right there, Emma, please. Now, before you say anything, she's scared about her parents' Social Security check. This is from a person who's worth between $45 and $60 million. And her dad was an investment banker that they inherited money from.
Yeah.
He's not. He probably doesn't even know he's getting Social Security checks because it just goes into his pile of cash in the Sedgwick home somewhere.
Spewing nonsense.
Vin's friends give him hell. This is who they listen to.
This is basically it. She's afraid of women's rights.
Yes.
What? Men and girls sports? Isn't that women's rights?
Vin,
are you afraid of that?
When your friends reach out to you, Vin, do they reach you? Do they crack open the blower and say, "Hey, Vin, I've got some feelings I want to talk to you about"?
Yeah, they don't use blower, but they should be, I guess, right? Yeah.
All right, let's hear what else this
food banks running out of food and not being able to replenish because they're no longer getting federal funding. Yes, the federal government can use improvement, and there's a lot of things that they've done right over the decades. So I think the answer to being freaked out for me is about community. And I feel excited that we're coming together as a nation on Saturday. You can look it up in your area. It's Hands Off March. And, you know, I'm just going to go and hear what I hear and feel less alone in the world.
Less alone.
Aaron. That's really
please. She's going to feel what she feels. She's going to hear what she hears.
They don't have anything to say, really. They have no facts. They have nothing to back it up. They just say these feelings that they hear in talking points, and this is what they spew.
Yes. And again, her family, originally from Yorkshire, England, arrived in the U.S. During the Great Migration. And her father was a venture capitalist, Henry Dwight Sedgwick V.
Oh. He must have had a good schedule.
Yes.
Give me a 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Lisa King will join us when we get back. She's a pharmacist from Scottsdale, Arizona. She'll be here when we get back right after this.
I need some drugs, man.
Go figure. Okay.
Healthy place.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh, boy.
I need a new drug.
That doesn't phase us.
I don't do any drugs of any kind.
Pharmacists would never be phased by that comment.
Dave Syverson, if you bet that paycheck, you would have lost. I have no idea what that is. No idea what that show is.
What show?
Oz?
Oh, you don't know what Oz is? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Oz was good, man. Oz was good.
Where are you going?
That's it. He's hitting the yellow brick road.
How do you not know
Yeah, I know
Oz?
The Wizard of.
Oz is a phenomenal show.
The Wizard?
No.
Was he behind the green curtain?
The prison show. Oz.
Curtain number
It was
two.
the biggest show in the country.
We're off to see the Wizard.
Yeah. Did she have my...
When you were younger. In like 2000.
No, I have no idea.
Oh, my God. Who said that anyway? In the chat. Who mentioned Oz?
Dave Syverson.
Dave. Remember the spoon scene? That was disgusting. Sick. I actually played that scene during What Even Is That? I believe. Not the whole thing, of course. Can't do that.
I'm just telling him if he bet a paycheck that I would have watched Oz, he would have lost.
Yeah. He didn't watch Oz.
No. Prison Break, every episode. I'm rewatching right now during the day when I'm working season 8 of 24.
When do you work during the day?
That's the
All day.
best clip.
Well, you should be watching Oz.
Aaron just fell off a chair
right now.
Aaron, get off the chair. Get off the floor.
I just watched season 7 before that.
That was earlier today. Now he's on season 8.
Now I'm on season 8 again. Then I'm going to go back to season 1 and watch all 8 seasons again.
Wow.
Maybe you should catch
watch
Oz.
Suits.
I love Suits.
I know.
Suits was great. Not the version they have now. The version they have now sucks big time.
They canceled that version.
Well, yeah,
They did, yeah. Because it sucked.
It was horrid. Unwatchable TV. Unwatchable. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, May 27th. Real America's Voice all across the country. Slick Rick's here. He's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Vinnie Mac's going to have some more thoughts on news going on right now as well. We'll get an update on that Knicks game. We are now into the third quarter, so Slick will give us an update on that. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. But right now, please welcome to the show for her initial appearance. Her name is Lisa King. She's an award-winning pharmacist of 37 years. She's an Amazon best-selling author. She's a wellness coach who has helped hundreds of people improve their health through simple and holistic changes. And she's here today to talk about a wonderful health supplement company that she's partnered with called Nations Health MD. Please welcome her to the show. Lisa, welcome to Live from Studio 6B.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Well, it's great to have you on. Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about Nations Health MD. Most of us hearing about it for the first time. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, what I love about Nation Health MD is that they just truly make getting healthy really easy. And we're both of the belief that taking care of yourself and your health does not have to be complicated. It's all about making just tiny changes in your daily routine that lead to big results and better health. They also really care about your results, and they work with a team of experts and scientists to bring you fantastic products with natural ingredients backed by the latest in scientific research, so you can be assured that these products are safe and effective. And last but not least, they really care about American jobs, and that's so important to so many right now. All 26 of their products are manufactured right here in America.
So you said 26 there. If you had to pick, let's say, the top 4 that you think kind of resonate with most people or maybe have immediate health benefits for things that most people struggle with, what would be, your top 3 or 4 products that you'd want to point people towards for Nations Health MD?
Yeah, sure. I'll gladly share 4 really fantastic products. A lot of people have swelling in their legs, ankles, and feet from a stagnant lymphatic system. And so our Lymph MD helps to flush out that extra fluid and toxins to alleviate that swelling. Now, the next product is really, really very popular. It's Liver Renew. And Liver Renew, over 100 million Americans have a stagnant liver that can have fat deposits, which slows down the metabolism, leading to weight gain over the years. And Liver Renew helps to spark that liver, reignite your metabolism for healthy weight management. Also, we have hair switch, which really, as we get older, thinning hair can really be just so disappointing and devastating for people. And the nutrients in hair switch help with hair follicles and healthy hair appearance so that you can look your best at any age. And last but not least, we have T-Thrive for any of the gentlemen out there who may be suffering with low testosterone and low energy. It's commonly known that as men get older, testosterone levels can go down, and that can lead to loss of muscle mass, endurance, libido, even issues in the bedroom. And the superfood ingredients in T-Thrive really help with healthy T levels so that you can feel your best, have that muscle strength again, endurance, and really that vitality once again.
Well, the guys on the set are excited about that last one, so we'll have them check it out. Yeah, exactly. So, well, if you're interested in anything that Lisa just mentioned, you can head over to nationshealthmd.com, nationhealthmd, all one word.com, where you can find more information about these supplements. You can try them risk-free for the next 48 hours. You can save 35% on your order with coupon code 6B, and of course, you're protected by their 365-day money-back guarantee. So you risk nothing by giving them a try. Again, 35% discount. Head over to nationhealthmd.com, nationhealthmd.com. Lisa, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Lisa King from Nation Health MD. And you can check them out online. Nathan, easy for me to say, nationshealthmd.com. So, Slick, you going to try out that last one?
Which one?
Which one? The liver? The hair?
No, the libido one. Yeah.
Oh,
the hair one, the libido one, and the muscle one.
With my energy, I don't think I need
Vin's
that.
into all this testosterone
my liver
stuff,
might need help.
NAD, these drips, all this crap.
Blue methylene is my new one.
Oh, that's the new one.
No, see, there you
it's
go.
methylene blue.
Methylene blue.
Oh.
Did you try it?
It looks like scope.
I've thought about
Right?
it.
It looks like blue scope.
Thought about it.
I've thought about it.
What does this do, Vin?
This is something RFK.
RFK takes it every day. So
RFK's
does
big on that.
a few other folks. It's
expensive,
blue
though.
dye that stimulates your brain and other things within your cognitive area of your
Can I
body.
drink a glass full like this size of it?
It doesn't get you. It's not like caffeine. Doesn't do any of that stuff.
You know what? There was actually a guy I watched his entire. He was talking about all sorts of things, but he mentioned methylene blue because he had a brain problem.
Yep.
The doctor's like, "There's no cure for this." He started. He did research. He found this methylene blue and some other extract or something that he started taking, plus red light therapy. It cleared him up.
Like, it's been around a long time.
Yeah, it's been around a while.
They inject it into your blood to get you to get healthy.
Right.
If you have low blood cells or other things. And now I just take a dropper like RFK does. I put it in my iced tea. Take a sip. Your tongue turns blue, and other things come out blue.
Now, what does it taste like, though? Does it leave an aftertaste?
No, barely any taste. Although I take it with iced tea just so I don't have to deal with that. But the only negative is if you take the dropper in your mouth, you really will dye your tongue blue. And it takes a while to unblue. So you drink it with something, you don't do that, and then everything else comes out blue. So it's kind of entertaining.
That's what somebody said in the chat. Yeah,
well, a lot of people in the chat commenting on it, or maybe taking it, or
I do it every day. Actually, I do it 6 days a week. I take a day off. I don't know if it's how much of an effect it's having, but I feel better when I take it. And, that's
is this why your hairpiece looks so good?
I take. I don't know, man.
Oh, you sound like the blues
I think
right
I
there,
need some
right?
of those supplements for the thinning hair.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not doing that shoe polish.
Yeah, no, boss, please, Damon. Never, ever.
That's my favorite ongoing joke would have been I'll just beat it to death. But I just laugh at it every time. So
the guy that I just mentioned, his name is Chase Hughes.
Yeah, what a name, huh?
He's
not related to Chase Bank.
He's like an expert at reading people for the government.
Yeah,
and he says he found this himself. It was some I actually sat through this entire 2 hour interview he did on some podcast just because I thought it was interesting to start with. And next thing you know, he's talking about this stuff, and then I'm like, this guy's got all It's like watching
Methylene Blue.
It's like watching season 8 of whatever the hell Damon watches.
Season 8 is 24. Is way better than watching 2 hours of Methylene Blue from some guy.
No, it wasn't 2 hours of Methylene Blue.
That sounds like the blues right there.
It was How to Instantly Read Anyone. Was the name of the podcast or the topic of it. And this guy was a former U.S. Navy Chief Chase Hughes. Basically breaks down how to read anybody, expert in body language.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he started talking about having a brain.
Well, subliminal communication is important. I want to make a comment, though, on Lisa King, what she was talking about. I don't know if anybody saw this clip running around now on social media, but Tom Cruise, when he was talking on the Today Show about medications for kids and medications for depression and all this Adderall stuff.
Years ago,
Is that an old one?
Right.
Yeah.
Years ago, Tom Cruise and people just buried him. He's crazy. He's all this stuff. Well, a lot of what he's talking about happens to be true. His basic premise was this, besides being overprescribed, and it's a lot of that MAHA movement, but many of these things that they give you, they mask whatever's happening. Like most medications in our health system right now, it's basically just a masking thing. Right. Most. There's some that actually do fix something, and his whole point was, we're masking things for these kids, and it's harming them in the long run, and we're just prescribing stuff, and Adderall's one of them, and so on. And now, these natural remedies are really the cures, because they're working with your body to cure them. And Tom Cruise was right about much of the stuff he talked about, and he was ridiculed like there was no tomorrow. That's where the medical system was, and where it's going now with an RFK, who's opening up a lot of those doors.
And when you think about it, the medical, or the pharmaceutical industry that we know of now is only about 100 years old. Before that, everything was, natural medicines.
That's right.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was only once the Rockefellers got involved and they decided, we need other applications for this petroleum, that they took over the pharmaceutical industry. They took over the medical schools. They basically banished anyone that practiced regular medicine, like real medicine, natural medicine, was considered a wacko.
Yeah, well, look at what they're doing to RFK. They were basically positioning him as a wacko. Anybody on the left now that talks about him says, oh, he's anti-vax, he's a wacko, he's this or that. You know what? The guy's onto some really good stuff. And he did say some controversial stuff, but I'm one of the two people I'm most happy with are RFK and Rubio. Out of the people that Trump has picked, of people that I thought, okay, I like these picks, we'll see. I've seen Rubio for a while and RFK. But man, I love these two guys because they are really effectuating change.
Yeah, Rubio stepped up for me. I didn't think he'd be as good as he'd been.
Yeah.
Here's RFK today, and again, I don't want to say the Dr. Thorpe interview from 2 weeks ago or so had anything to do with this, but this is the announcement we've been waiting for. This is a big step. Here he is this morning.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and I'm here today with NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary. I couldn't be more pleased to announce that as of today, the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule. Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science.
There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
There you go.
It's amazing when you hear what's happening with people who got the vaccine and the health problems they have had. I got the vaccine and a booster because I couldn't travel. And I if anything runs through my mind is what's going on in my body these days. As you get older, you start worrying about all this stuff. I'm worried what this vaccine has done. And the stuff we're seeing, the side effects to so many people, it's super scary.
Hey, one more clip before we hit the break, and maybe we can talk about this when we get back. I think this is one of the biggest stories not getting enough attention in Washington, and this might be some news. David Sachs tonight. Here he says this.
This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants to drive this community offshore. She doesn't want it happening in the United States. That's the wrong policy for the United States. We want all the innovation happening here. This is a financial system of the future. It's cheaper. It's more efficient. We want it happening here, Jesse, and I think people are thrilled that President Trump is making that possible.
Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen in that administration.
Wow.
From David Sachs tonight on Jesse's show. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Still got a lot of time.
I mean, Tom Cruise did come at it from that whole, what's his religion thing that he's Scientology basis. However, a lot of what he said really resonated with me. Watching this again, that had to be like 15 years ago, at least. Wow. That was Matt Lauer, and he had hair.
I think that was more than that.
Maybe 20? Yeah.
Maybe. He still has a good head of hair, doesn't he?
Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer doesn't have any hair, but he watched the interview he had
it all out.
Matt Lauer, what happened to him?
Oh, man. What is he doing now?
Spent 27 years in healthcare. I've seen the side effects of medications. We had to inject female hormone injections in male inmates, saving time for raping women. Oh, my God. I walked away so happy, my choice. This is from Yvonne, who's talking about the healthcare system and just screwed up it is. Refused to promote bad behavior. Good for you walking away. However, more people need to speak out within the system. You know, if people spoke out during COVID, some of these people in the system that said all these drugs that we thought could help you were bad for you, the horse stuff and all that, if they had spoken out and not fought that, we would have resolved this thing much sooner. But people in the medical field were scared. They were getting fired.
For their jobs, their careers.
So, I mean, I understand not saying it.
Lose their license.
You know, this is why we have the problem we have, because if people aren't willing to speak up, like Yvonne has, and she spoke up by quitting. Good for you.
Wow. Crazy. Great. Yes.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago, 2005.
Well, it was 20 years ago.
20 years ago, and they buried this guy, like they've tried to do with RFK. I go back to that Fauci book all the time. You read it, yes, Rick?
I haven't read it, no.
You should read it. It's actually a fast read.
Is it?
But what he points out, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't banned the book. And that was, by the way, in the beginning of COVID, he was right on this guy. But he's had some nutty stuff he said too, so I get it.
To the hour, live from Studio 6B. What's interesting about the David Sachs clip, and I don't know if he was just referring to crypto in that, you know, because obviously her hatred for it, maybe he was when he was saying she controlled the auto pen, but the overall idea of her controlling the auto pen it may not be that far off. Maybe she controlled it for everything, not just crypto. Maybe he was referring to just crypto.
I think that's what I took from it anyway.
But I think many were controlling the auto pen.
I think that was just there, and once they decided to do something, the auto pen executed it. But I don't think it was like one person. It was they had this little committee, and with Joe's wife, Jill Biden. I mean, seriously,
Dr. Jill.
Nobody elected that. What'd you call her? An old bag?
No, I didn't call her
Dr. Jill.
He said old bag, didn't you?
Macron.
Are you talking about Smush Face?
Let's do some sports, and then we'll do some more news of Vim before we wrap it up. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, one last sports report. What's going on?
All right, Big D. West Final Game 4 in Edmonton, Rogers Place. Oilers just took a 2-1 lead over the Dallas Stars. 3:24 to go in the second. If I was Dallas, I'd start scoring and getting going because they trail that series 2-1, and it would be a commanding 3-1 lead there. Knicks and Pacers, speaking of a commanding 3-1 lead, that's what Indy's looking to put on the table tonight as they look to close out the Knicks here. East Finals, Game 4. Indianapolis leading the series 2-1. I think the Knicks are pretty much in a must-win situation, going down 3-1, pretty much all over. Right now, 85-77. Indianapolis with the lead. I was telling Rick, reminds me of last night's game with Minnesota and OKC. Every time Minnesota would get within a few points, then they would just pull away OKC. Seems to be the case tonight. Plenty of time to go, though. 5:19 in the third. I think the Knicks still have a shot here. Major League Baseball real quick. Mets 5-4 over the White Sox, bottom 8. Reds over the Royals 6-2, bottom 8. Got to get that one in there. Red Sox 1-0 over the Brewers, middle of the 8th. Yankees just underway, bottom of the first. No score, taking on the Angels. Let's get to one quick story, if I might. Well, this is news that just broke a little while ago, and, well, sure enough, WNBA, Big D, you sent me the story as well, can't verify hateful comments towards Reese. No surprise there. Yep, this is Michael Vospel of ESPN is a story that I have. The WNBA announced Tuesday it could not substantiate a report of racist fan behavior at an Indiana-Chicago game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, which ironically is where this game is being played right now, in Indianapolis earlier this month. We have investigated the report of racist fan behavior in the vicinity of the court during the May 17, 2025 Chicago Sky at India Fever game. The league said in a statement, based on information gathered to date, including from relevant fans like Dave Portnoy, right, Big D from Outkick, team and arena staff. Barstool, as well as audio and video review of the game, we have not substantiated it. The WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone and will continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. So corporate speak there, of course, but so they couldn't verify anything.
That's nonsense. The WNBA is not, with the way they've treated this Caitlin Clark there.
Yep.
I mean, what has happened there? It's nothing but racist.
I know. Well, you could see the hate. I mean,
you could see it, but you can see the resistance to challenge any of it. I mean, it's outrageous and it's obvious.
Yeah, it's really a shame. And Caitlin Clark was injured. She's going to be out for a couple of weeks now. First game she's missed since her college career.
Yeah, I think it'll be 4 or 5 games she's going to miss.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see the
ratings tank,
the ratings, and, and the ticket sales for those
tens of people will be watching.
Yeah, I mean that girl put the game on the map.
Embrace her, like the NBA did with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Man, that's the move.
That's the move.
And what's crazy is that it is blatantly racist, right? I think we can all see that.
Blatant.
Yeah.
But then you see this year's top pick, Paige Beckers from UConn.
The blonde girl. Yeah.
Blonde white girl.
Yeah.
Nobody says a word to her.
No. Caitlin's so good, but crazy. She's been picked on. I mean, she's almost like, this isn't too big a comparison, but the Jackie Robinson of this WNBA and the way they're treating her.
In a way, you're right, Vin.
The way they're treating her.
Different level baseball in the community.
I mean, come on, stop.
She's awful.
By the way, she's got the basketball prowess of like a 4th grader.
Yeah, I know. What is she averaging? 7 points a game?
Inept.
Yeah,
offensively.
She's terrible.
I know. She's all.
They're like, she got 4 rebounds. She missed 4 shots. That's why she got 4 rebounds.
Exactly. She rebounded herself. She bounced it off the backboard.
I mean, it's just so bad.
All right. Knicks have cut it to 7. 89-82. Big D. 3:59 to go in the third, and that's a wrap in sports.
That's looking a little rough. So, Vinnie Mac, anything else on your mind tonight?
Yeah, lots of little things that have jumped out that I think are pretty interesting. First, I don't know if you guys caught this, and maybe you covered it. I'm not sure if it happened on Friday or Saturday, but the whole nuclear initiative that Trump announced, absolutely astonishing. I was talking to a friend of mine about a year ago, and he said, hey, I'm buying uranium stock. I'm doing all this stuff because I think nuclear is going to be the next big thing. And the amount of power that nuclear powers and the safety around it now is fantastic. It's not like it was in the 70s. Trump jumping on this, not just for our military. I think he was talking about these micro-nuclear hotspots to be able to power military bases, but for the country itself to be self-sufficient with power. It's a fantastic initiative. It's another great thing he's doing. The other thing that he did was this whole thing with the EU. When the markets were crashing, they barely went down. I mean, it was a little bit of a setback at best. He played China. China came back. Markets went up. Same thing with the EU. They're not talking. They're not negotiating. They're a corporate structure, if anything, is within any of these negotiations. Usually, you're dealing with one leader. You're dealing with this committee. They're not moving. Trump puts these tariffs on. People freak out. Boom. They call up and say, we want to make a deal. Give us a little more time. I mean, I just love how he's playing everybody. I mean, everybody's getting played. But all we hear in this country when he does these things is hysteria. Market's way up again today, by the way. I also saw something that made me laugh. And this is the Dems are spending $20 million now to try and win over dudes. They're trying to figure out a way to appeal to dudes, guys, guys that know how to fix cars, guys that'll actually. $20 million.
They're not trying that hard then.
Yeah.
Well,
that's just dropping a
about
bucket.
$2 billion.
Think of this attempt, though, in general. This is sort of, like someone who just can't fit in, has no idea how to fit in and has to go to school to learn how to fit in. The Dems have to spend $20 million to figure out how to talk to just regular guys. Just simple as that. Just this entire thing says to me they are so disconnected from this country. It's not even funny. I don't even know who they really represent anymore. I mean,
is Tim Walz going to head this thing?
Tim Walz is the chairperson. He'll be doing that. But an embarrassing.
You do that so good. Wow.
And almost too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other little thing that jumped out at me is James Comey is on his book tour. And in one of his interviews, he basically said that the GOP was white supremacist adjacent. This is the former head of the FBI talking about an entire political party using the word white supremacist. We haven't heard the white supremacist narrative, by the way, since the first Trump term, where that was their version of dictator and fascist and Nazi. They used all those, but white supremacist was the lead. Now it's all these other things. And James Comey comes out with this. This guy has so little credibility for doing anything. He's corrupt as hell, but on a book tour comparing the GOP to white supremacists, I thought that was newsworthy because it's just one of those things that you just can't take seriously. And the guy interviewing him just took it, listened to it, and was like, oh.
Well, it must have been MSLSD, right?
Okay.
Where else could it be? It's the only place he ever goes.
And you wonder why some of these left-wing nuts that I deal with particularly have these opinions they have, because all they watch is this type of news, and they hear the former FBI guy, director saying things like this, and this is what they pay attention to.
You think if anybody on the right did the 86-46 thing when Biden was in office, they'd still not be arrested right now?
They'd be in jail or pending trial in jail.
Delgado?
Oh, yeah. Totally be in jail.
By now, they'd already be, right?
Yeah, they'd probably be in Guantanamo. What, are you kidding me?
And he's on a book tour.
Yeah, he's on a book tour.
He's going to make millions. Well, no one's going to buy that book, by the way.
It's a million seller right in his basement, like Damien says.
All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night on a Wednesday, right here, 8 p.m., live from Studio 6B. Oh.